Hey everyone, this is Sharon and Jamie from Sharon at Sea.
What's up everybody out there? How we doing today? Hey, we're here to talk about what is the one big moment, the one great memory that you have from your very first cruise. We had a subscriber ask about that, and we thought it'd be neat to put a little video together. And
so we put that question out there for our cruise crew, and we got a few responses, so we're going to share those with you.
Fantastic. Let's check them out.
All right, let's get started. Now, we put the question out there to the Sharon at Sea cruise crew, and we received several responses and a few video responses as well, which we are going to share with you.
Nice.
And first, we are going to share what we thought. So I'm going to go first and tell you what I remember, that stood out about my first cruise.
Excellent.
Okay, first, just getting on the ship in general is just like, you're just kind of in awe. So I remember getting on that ship and wanting to just do everything. I didn't want to miss anything. You know, I was just wanting to walk around, kind of tour the ship. I remember going to our cabin and seeing the fun times, which is the activity schedule for the very first time. And ever since then, like every night I would just check it, I would mark off things, and I mean, we did not want to miss anything that was going on around the ship. It was like just, it was just the greatest experience. The other thing I remember, which is kind of funny, is, which a lot of people do on their first cruise, is you overpack. I packed so much stuff, it was crazy. You know, I packed different outfits for each night with matching shoes, and it was just crazy. And we have, of course, learned to not pack so much now, but that was just one thing that stood out that I really remember, is just all the things we brought along, and like I said, just wanting to do anything and everything that came our way and not miss a thing. So that is what I remember about our first cruise. And
well, what was
what
ship was your first cruise?
That was on the Carnival Elation in 2002.
Very nice.
All right, what about you, Jamie?
Okay, so for my first cruise memory, I'm gonna throw a little curveball, because my first cruise was not with Sharon on the Elation. I took a cruise many years prior to that. What are you laughing about? On the Oceanic was the name of the ship. I must have been about, oh gosh, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. So it must have been about, I don't know, late 70s, 1978, 79, somewhere in there. I was 9 or 10, and we took a cruise. It was the whole family. My grandmother took us, and my grandfather had passed away, so she took the whole family on a cruise. She was doing the thing with the ashes in the ocean and the whole 9 yards. So it was a big deal, and she spent the money, so we all had suites and things like that. But the biggest thing I remember was, back in the day, you could actually have family and friends come on the ship with you before the ship set sail. So I remember having all of, not only our family that were going on the cruise, but some other aunts and uncles and friends of my parents showed up there, and a cousin of my dad's, and there were probably about maybe 10 or 12 other people that came on the ship and visited with us and saw our cabin before we actually set sail. And then they ended up getting back off the ship, and then they all waited in an area, and we were all waving goodbye to them. I think they were like in a parking garage, you know, on the top of a parking garage or something like that. So the biggest thing I remember was the weird time back in the day when you used to be able to have people come on the ship to say goodbye to you before you went on that cruise. I'm not sure whether they were just worried that you might never come back, or that was the old protocol, or what. But so that was the biggest thing I can remember from back then. I mean, it was a long time ago, but that was my biggest first cruise memory.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like in the movies. You see the movies, old movies.
Oh yeah, it's like the old,
kind of waving by.
It's like the old Love Boat show or something. I mean, it was a lot like that. It was crazy, and actually that experience is what kind of got us. And got me to talk Sharon into going on a cruise once we got together. And then of course we had the great first cruise together on the Elation. And but yep, that was my first big cruise memory on the Oceanic back in like 1979 or something like that.
Okay. All right, we are going to start with a few responses we received. And the first was from Kathy Hayes Bird.
What's up, Kathy?
And Kathy said
that she remembers the thrill of going under the Skyway Bridge as they left out of Tampa, Florida. We have not been out of Tampa, and that sounds like something we definitely want to see. That must be pretty awesome, going under that big, beautiful bridge on the cruise ship and seeing that sight.
That's right. That sounds exciting.
So cool. Thank you, Kathy. All right, so the next response is from one of our YouTube subscribers, Charles Hahn. And what did Charles have to say?
Charles says that his first cruise was his honeymoon. That's what he remembers.
So I would imagine Charles pretty much remembers nothing about the cruise because he probably never left his cabin, right, Charles?
Oh my gosh.
Attaboy.
All right, thank you, Charles.
All right, Charles.
All right, our next response from the cruise crew was from Dina Ebeling.
What's going on, Dina? Dina actually gave us a quote. Dina said that, "I've said this since my first cruise. You can do everything or nothing at all. Cruising has something for everyone."
Oh, that is so true. That's exactly how I feel.
Yes, because you can take one day and have it be the most activity-filled, busiest day ever, and the next day you can sleep in, lay out on the Lido deck, and not do a darn thing, and that's beautiful.
Perfect vacation ever.
Yes, thanks, Dina.
All right, next up is from Nancy Plack.
Nancy Plack, don't you mean Nurse Nancy?
Nurse Nancy.
What's up, Nurse Nancy? How you doing out there? Hey, Nurse Nancy gave us a great quote. She said that she could not believe how affordable everything turned out to be on the cruise, and I'll tell you what, that is so true.
It is.
So many people think it's just such a ritzy thing that you can spend a ton of money on, and I guess you can on certain cruise lines.
Yeah.
But you can really do it in a quite an affordable way, and the great thing is that everything's already paid for, mostly before you get on the ship.
Yeah, you can make payments along and then until it's paid off, and then once you get on the ship, basically, if you don't want to spend another dime, you don't have to. I mean, of course you can, but you don't have to, and you can eat and
you can literally get on the ship and not spend another penny.
Everything for nothing else.
So, excellent point, Nancy. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Nurse
Nancy.
Nancy.
Next, we have a response from Kat Dodd.
What's going on, Kat? Kat says that Kat remembers all the excitement in the nightclubs. I guess Kat must have been on a real party kind of a cruise or something like that. And also remembers the amazing service, like first class service that she got on for a relatively, small price. Again, kind of, piggybacking on what others have said often about the affordability of a cruise. So that is awesome, Kat.
Yeah. That's how I feel. It is so nice just to be waited on, having your food prepared, bed turned down. I mean, now that's a vacation.
Oh yeah, you don't even have to clean your cabin the whole week. It's fantastic.
Right. Awesome.
Thank you, Kat.
All right, and our last comment before we get into the videos is from Jennifer Cummins.
Yes, Jennifer actually sent a picture along with her comment. And this picture probably says 1,000 words, but she said that, and that's what she said. The picture tells the whole story. There was such wonder and awe at the whole experience of getting on the ship and seeing that thing for the first time. It was amazing. Yeah. So thank you, Jennifer, for that great picture.
Thank you. Yes, and that's true. I mean, when we got on the ship, you just walk into the atrium and you're almost frozen sometimes, just kind of looking at.
It's like walking into a big, beautiful hotel that's just floating around in the ocean. It's so cool.
All right. So next up, let's get into the videos here and see what people had to say.
Excellent. Let's hear from some other folks.
Hi, cruise crew. This is Anne from Texas. I just wanted to help Sharon out with the video. Hi to Jamie, Matthew, and Sharon. And I think the question was to share your first memory of your cruise, your first cruise. And my first cruise was 20 years ago, and it was our honeymoon. And I remember one night we went to the theater, and they had given everyone like a stub as you entered, and they called out our number, and I was so excited. We won. And what I didn't realize is that we were going to be the entertainment for the evening with the Love and Marriage show. So it was really embarrassing. I was 25. I was naive. I had no idea. I'd never been on a cruise. Didn't really know. I thought it was going to be more like the game show on TV, and it was a little bit different than that. But it was a lot of fun. The other thing I remember from that cruise is that there was a hurricane that was hitting the East Coast, specifically like Key West and Miami. So we were actually extended an extra day at sea because we weren't able to pull in to port because of the damage and debris in Miami. So be flexible when things change, itineraries change. Sometimes you'll go to a port of call and you won't actually be able to enjoy it. That's happened to us before. So just be flexible and get the most out of your vacation. Enjoy all the things that you have as far as the different planned activities that they have on the ship. And with all the resources that you have available today, like YouTube and different communities for cruising, there's a lot of research. And for me, the research is the part that really gets me kind of excited about the upcoming trip. So yeah, so I just wanted to say hi from Texas, and I wish you guys the best with your cruising plans, and have a great cruise. Take care. Bye.
All right, hey, Dina Cruising Through Life here. Best memory from my first cruise. It was a weekend cruise. I was afraid I was going to get sick. I'm prone to motion sickness. So the best memory I could say right at the top that made me want to jump right back in and get on another ship was actually just having personal time with my husband. I know that has nothing to do with the cruise, but it was the time where we were able to reconnect, and I really appreciated that. If it had to do with just the cruise, we eat. We're foodies. We love the food, and we jumped back right on for those two reasons.
I guess the biggest thing about our first cruise was the fact that it was so large and we was really overwhelmed by everything. After the first cruise, I started reading the deck plans on board these ships to get a better idea of where everything was, or half an idea of where everything was before we cruised again. That was about 4 years ago. We're leaving now in about 4 days on our 14th cruise, I think it is, going to the Fascination out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Yay! Have fun on your first cruise.
Hi, Nurse Nancy here. I just wanted to share with you real quickly some of the favorite things that we remember from our first cruise. One of the things that strikes us as being very notable is that the cruising is very affordable, and we didn't realize how affordable it was for our family, and had postponed taking a cruise for years and years, and then cruised as a family and just found it to be amazing. You get treated like royalty. So much is included. You cannot believe how much you can do on a cruise ship, and they're huge, floating cities. There were parts of the cruise ship that we hadn't even explored by the time the cruise was done, and it was a 7-night cruise. So hope this helps, and enjoy cruising.
All right, well, those videos are fantastic, and so are all the comments before that. Thank you very much, everybody, for getting involved and giving us some responses to the question.
Thank you very much. First cruises have so many awesome memories. I mean, you're never going to forget your first cruise. There's always, it just holds a special spot.
Yep.
And so thank you, everyone who sent us these responses and videos. It will help all of our fellow cruisers who have not cruised before get excited for their first cruise, and even the ones that have cruised before get excited for their next cruise.
Oh yeah, so those are great. Thanks everybody, and if you want to see more videos like this, cruise vlogging, cruise tips, cruise information, and all kinds of fun stuff about the Sharon at Sea Cruise Crew, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Do us a favor, hit the like button. Check out on Facebook, Sharon at Sea Cruise Crew, and if you have any travel needs, guess who you can call? This gal right here to get everything hooked up and booked up for you. So thanks a lot, everybody, and remember one thing we always say:
happy cruising.
Happy cruising.